Do remember, sir, that I know your child is dying, but Donald Trump passed the right to try. But again, just remember that so that I know your daughter's dying, but don't lose your support for Donald Trump. Let's get to Sean Hannity. So Hannity, a lot of people know Hannity has his TV show, but I don't know if everybody knows Sean Hannity has a daily radio show where he takes phone calls too. And I know how much work it is to keep up on like every like daily news. It's a lot. And Hannity does have a team to take care of most of that for him. But this is not a person who's like well researched on any of this. And you'll see it. The more he speaks to human beings that aren't just like politicians with their talking points prepared and his fluff questions prepared, he doesn't really have answers. And it's starting to show. And I hope Republicans just keep calling Sean Hannity and saying, hey, could you explain this to me? And he'll be like, no, I can't. But here's a compilation of callers, and then I'll play a couple longer ones.
One of our tenants just recently got laid off from the USDA, and he's a disabled vet, multiple deployments overseas, and the guy is without a job now, and I'm just afraid that stuff like this is going to get out there. And I know you got a soft spot for military and police and EMS and all those guys, and just a little concerning that we don't let these guys, fall off the wagon here and get neglected because they've done so much for our country.
I know in the past you've always stood up for the men and women in the rank and file FBI agents, and it's a time they may need your voice again, especially the couple thousand have been seemingly targeted because they worked on the January 6th case. And I know one of the main goals in the FBI of the new administration is to depoliticize it. And this appears to be a misstep in the wrong direction.
It's frustrating all of us because, how do you make life decisions, try to figure out what to do? How do you know to send your kids to college? If you can afford to buy a house, when there's no information coming from the administration, which I support strongly.
We need more of that. But let me give you an example of a call where Sean Hannity just didn't know what to say. And this one's a little bit hard to listen to. A father calls in with concerns, and shout out to this father. I don't know what his political leanings are, but did not make them super known, and continued to hold Hannity's feet to the fire when Hannity doesn't have an answer to this. Now, one of the things that I saw a little bit yesterday in mainstream media, and then I actually I hopped on TikTok for a minute, and I don't remember whose live it was. It might have been Parker and Dean. Just people say like, oh, the Democrats didn't stand up for the kid with cancer. And it's like, well, one, who cares? I don't know why that's a big talking point for you. But two, it wasn't that they weren't standing up for him for recovering from cancer. It was that they saw that he was being used as a prop while the president simultaneously is cutting cancer research for children. And that is absolutely true. It's undeniably true. It's what they're doing. And this parent calls and holds Hannity's feet to the fire, and just listen to Hannity, like no humanity. His knee-jerk reaction is to just figure out a way to defend Trump, even though like it's not real, it's not really about Trump. This is a father who is going to lose their child.
Anyway, let's get to our busy phones. Let's say hi to Jason in Kansas. Jason, hi. How are you? Glad you called.
Hey, Sean. How's it going?
I'm good. What's going on with you?
Oh, I just wanted to call and advocate for my daughter here. So my daughter was diagnosed with a DIPG. It is a brain tumor of the brainstem, and with time is of the essence here, and the prognosis we got was go home and make memories. There has been no advances in this type of cancer, and it kind of ties all in here with some government funding, knowing that pediatric brain cancer is the lowest funded type of cancer out there. So just wanted to call and advocate for her and spread some awareness with you.
All right. Nothing overtly political there. My child is dying. Children's cancer research is underfunded. I just wanted to call and spread some awareness about something horrific that's happening, something that we should probably address. Hannity is not human.
Well, first of all, I'm very sorry. How old is your daughter?
She was 7 at diagnosis, 10-1, so she's now turned 8.
Okay. First of all, I can't imagine the heartache and pain and suffering that you and I assume your wife or your girlfriend, whoever, are going through. And our prayers are with you, number one. And our prayers are with her, number two. I can only say that, just keep working and trying. Call the top cancer centers in the country. I assume you probably already have.
Have you tried calling? I know you're calling and saying like we need to fund this, but have you tried just like calling the cancer centers instead? Have you thought about, because Hannity knows like the funding's being cut, and Hannity's not about to say the government should fund this because he can't. Because like Republicans are against funding of anything, and so Hannity, like, have you tried calling a hospital? No, we didn't even think about that. They have doctors for this shit.
Sloan Kettering,
turned over the
NYU Langone, MD Anderson. Those would be the top three that come to my mind.
Oh yeah.
Have they all said the same thing?
A little bit for everyone says the same thing. No one has ever been cured of what she has, and with the lack of funding, basically all you get is parents like me who have had a kid with this, starting organizations and coming up with money to carry on the research for them. So that's why I wanted to call and advocate for research, and if people just, the more you know with kids.
Nobody's against scientific research. Most of the...
Yeah, see, now here's the sleight of hand. Nobody's against scientific research. We're just against using rich people's money to pay for it. We're against using taxpayer money to pay for it, and nobody else has the money to pay for it. So it's just like we're just going to rely on charity.
The solutions for cancer are going to be found in the private sector, not with public money.
Yeah, I mean, unless you got a big corporation with a big problem, big problems there like to get solved fast. But with such a small number of kids getting this, it's definitely something that doesn't get looked at as much.
So they've given you, basically, you're telling me they've given you no hope at all, none.
No, they said your route is get radiation, go home and make memories.
Oh my gosh, I would not want to. No parent wants to be in that position. I'm so sorry.
We've found clinical trials, and no new clinical trials in the last 10 years, but there's some out there. But every one of them is lacking funding. Some have had awesome preclinicals, and so that's why I'm calling today, is try and get your listeners.
Well, I would find out who is in charge of those programs. And if you have to, get on an airplane and go out and try and get your daughter in that program.
Yeah, sure. You probably have lots of money. Go out there, find out, and you just fly there. They'll just let you in the door. Jump on an airplane, fly out, go knock on their door, bother them until you can convince them that even though you don't have money, just save my child. I know we could advocate right now, Sean Hannity, that maybe you make less money and we fund research for this. But instead, just like, have you tried flying across the country and knocking on their door? Those are just two solutions. Have you tried calling? Have you tried flying to them and knocking on their door?
I mean, if that's the only one that will show hope that's out there, my suggestion, because there's nothing else that can be done fast enough right now. There's no amount of even if the government spent $300 million on this particular cancer tomorrow, it's not going to be your answer. It's going to be the people.
Yeah, but you'll say don't spend it today because it's not going to fix this one child. So don't ever spend it. And then the next time there's a child like that, you'll be like, oh, we can't fix it today. And then the next time it's a child, you go, oh, we can't fix it today. And then 10 years from now, you'll say, oh, we can't fix it today. You're just going to keep doing it over and over and over again. That's the problem we have here, Sean. People are calling you saying we're dying, and you're like, oh, well, nothing we can do about it.
People that are in the field. And don't forget, Donald Trump did give us the right to try. In other words, if you really believe in a treatment.
Listen to this response. Well, do remember, sir, that I know your child is dying, but Donald Trump passed the right to try. But again, just remember that, so that I know your daughter's dying, but don't lose your support for Donald Trump.
Is there anything else we could do for you?
Well, I'll be talking with that on the Kansas House floor Friday. The right to try is starting to get past there. Still need medicines that make it through FDA for them to be able to be tried. But the organization Tough, the letter 2, Tough Together, they work specifically with this type of brain cancer. It's very rare, and we just need to get people to understand what it is. And, no kid should get this diagnosis.
No, it's sad. I wish I could do something for you. I really do.
You could probably give him $3 million and it wouldn't put a dent. You could do something. Doing thoughts and prayers. You could and if you're not going to spend money, the least you could do is advocate for your money to be spent on cancer research. But we got to get after those pesky Canadians.
I don't know what I'd do if I was in your shoes. I don't. I mean, I think I'd feel a sense of despair and hopelessness that.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're describing to me, and I'm so sorry to hear that. If there is hope with any clinical trial, I would just do everything you can possibly do, to appeal to the people that are involved in it, because you need a quick answer. You don't need an answer, 3 months from now. You need it today.
No, he needed you 10 years ago. He needed you guys to care about the rising rates of pediatric cancer, the rising rates of cancer in general. We needed you guys to care a long, long time ago, and you didn't do it. That's what he needed. But now he didn't. I don't remember this person asking Sean Hannity for a single piece of advice. And Sean Hannity has spent at least half of this call giving advice, while this poor father's just like, hey, I'm just trying to raise awareness. And he's like, let me give you some advice, sir. Shut up and listen. How about that, Sean?
Yep. So the only clinical trial showing proven needs money to even start it. They've already passed all their government paperwork. They just need their $3 million and they can start their trial. And so, they just need money. And a dad like me here in the Midwest just doesn't have $3 million to give them, or I would, and I'd live in a box and be happy. So
yeah,
just need some money.
Well, maybe you can start a big fundraising thing. If you do, we'll put it up on Hannity.com and see if people can donate, and maybe you can get that. That doesn't sound, it sounds hard, but you know what? You don't know unless you try, right?
Yeah. What's $3 million? He's like, that's not that much money. I have way more than $3 million. That's not that hard. I barely work, and I get more than that every year. I don't do it. I just show up and read cue cards every day. It's not that hard to get $3 million.
Yeah, I'm very sorry, my friend. I really am. I'm praying for you, your daughter, your family. I know it's a tough time. I hope maybe if you give us an update at some point, we'll be glad to help you with any effort you have. Okay.
Hey, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. No answers. And I don't expect Sean Hannity to have answers there, but the constant pandering to Donald Trump, when somebody calls in talking about their child dying, he's like, but please remember, Donald Trump is good.